Y'all's dead ass phones
All
and
right.
shit.
I don't need it. I have it memorized. I'm good.
Word.
That's what
Welcome.
I'm talking about.
to episode.
That's no. I was gonna say that's exactly how we're gonna start.
Number.
For Miss Velvet.
I got it memorized.
She got it memorized. Y'all, that's unfortunate.
Woo.
This is the That's Unfortunate podcast. And y'all, guess what? It's your boy. Who is it? It's your boy Chris, a.k.a. SSJ Blackrod, a.k.a. Mr. Muckluck, a.k.a. The Great One, a.k.a. the man of many a.k.a.s. And we're just going to leave it at that.
So extra.
Yeah, listen, I gotta be extra. All right, listen, you already know I was prepared for that.
Listen.
Oh, listen.
Listen, y'all.
This is a whole thing. This is my intro. This is my
I
intro.
was like, do I have to go into a corner? Already.
We're just doing extra stuff. That's all that is.
Okay.
Oh, that went on for a minute. I
did.
forgot it was on.
Yeah.
She forgot it was on.
Morgan, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
Let's get some updates. What's going on in your life? How's your car situation? This is an ongoing storyline.
like a saga.
Have you ever watched a TV show that had its main story, but then also had a character who had a whole separate side story?
Morgan.
Going on.
That's Morgan.
It's still to be continued.
Oh,
It's still getting worked on, but I think it's gonna get fixed this week.
all right.
Yay.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
party, dude.
There we go. Positive vibes.
Yay!
Y'all, everyone that's listening, everyone that's watching, send positive vibes. Put thumbs ups in the thumbs ups in the comments.
Hispanic on this fucking thing. Like,
That's-
yeah.
That's what you should, listen, all the positive vibes. Do you feel it yet? I guess you have to wait until Friday when it actually.
A little bit.
Dang, that sucks.
Whenever I get my car back.
You're
I don't
gonna
know.
listen, when you wake up Friday, not Friday afternoon, but at Friday at noon when this episode drops,
You're gonna feel
and
it.
y'all are watching this part because you're automatically tuning in on YouTube at 12 p.m. when we drop the show. Automatically, you're one of those first 30 something viewers. We appreciate you.
Thanks for that.
So at that point,
Loud.
Miss Morgan, when you
Miss
feel
Morgan.
when you feel the energy hit you, what are you gonna tell the people?
What do you mean? What am I gonna tell them?
Thank you. You're gonna feel the warmth. You're gonna.
I was like, is this a trick question? What are you asking me?
I think.
Thanks for the vibe, hoes.
Yes.
So appropriate.
So for people to know how Morgan feels about getting all this great vibes, where can they find you?
At HeyMo0222. That's on Instagram. I don't really get on nothing else.
That's where y'all could find her. That's where she posts her period pics.
Not period as in that sounded
No,
gross.
not period.
That sounded gross.
You didn't hear the
Morgan's
T?
ass is fat.
Was the T not there? I said
it was
period.
not. No, that was
period.
No,
Was
not
that-
that was
the
like,
T?
What is
Period.
he talking
No.
about? I do what?
I didn't put the T. That was
What
my
is a
fault.
period pic?
Period.
Oh,
The challenge.
No.
That's the challenge.
The challenge.
Thank you.
The challenge where those girls are standing, their butts
Yes.
make the pee.
No, I knew what he meant.
ridiculous.
I didn't put
Just
the
the way it
T.
sounded.
I didn't put the T. That's my bad. Damn.
Like,
Follow
I
my
think we need
OnlyFans
to-
if you want to see my period pics. Y'all into some nasty shit.
Jade.
Hi.
It's been 2 weeks. How have you been?
Oh, shit. It has been. Hasn't it? Fucking wild. I'm okay. I'm just vibing. You know,
Okay.
doing me. You can see me vibe at
What is happening right now?
Yeah, that's how you do the cycle. Yeah, there you do it.
Go. Where can we see you?
Yeah.
you can see me vibe on
Oh,
Instagram. At Jade It's Confused. Or you can just type in Jade Cooley on literally any platform. Except for Twitter right now, because I can't get on Twitter.
What is with you and Twitter?
I like to
time.
argue with
problem.
racist
This,
people.
y'all,
Tie back
this,
to the problematic piece
this-
that we had earlier. I'm just saying, Twitter beefing with you.
You can't call racist people the C-U-N-T word.
Oh, their feelings are hurt.
I know, they're so triggered. What a snowflake.
y'all, this is Jade's. Remember we were talking about side stories? That's the whole other side story.
Twitter and Jay.
Twitter
I
and
got
Jade.
arrested.
Wait,
All right, so let's listen. Look, this is me scratching out. No, this is Jade versus the world. How about that?
I did.
Dang.
Because my dog bit a cop. I'd do it again to go back to jail
Good girl.
Yeah.
she
I
did
would go
what
back to
she
jail
was
for my
supposed
dog
to
to find
do.
another cop. Moral of the story.
All
right.
I was gonna say you better than me. If my dog fights a cop, that's dope. I ain't going to jail. Oh man.
Well, I missed my court date. It was
You're-
kind of my fault, I
You're
guess.
better than me. I couldn't do it. Velvet.
Yes.
What's going on? What's new with you?
I got my hair done.
All right.
You know. That's about it. For more updates, follow me on Instagram because that's the only place you can actually find me. You can find me on Facebook, but I don't know if y'all want
Don't.
to see that. There you go.
Stay out my
Instagram.
Facebook too.
Instagram is Velvet Isabel X, VelvetIsabelX.
All right. And Velvet, while we got you there, let's go ahead and introduce our guest.
All right. Our guest today, I've known her since high school, which is a long ass time ago. My beloved Roxie. She's here with us, looking beautiful.
Hey, all right, y'all can stop.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I've never
know how
had
to
such a
drum
proper
roll.
Drum
intro,
roll's just
and
supposed
I'm
to be
in
the
love
lead
with
up.
it.
All right, y'all just kept fucking going, bro.
I feel pampered and welcomed.
Nice. Welcome to the pod.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. I'm gonna do the appropriate thing, and my segue is follow me on Instagram, Roxie Full of Moxie, and that is ROXIE Full of Moxie.
She
MOXIE.
But I also wanted to shout out.
What?
You're also
Yes.
1/5
Oh yes,
of the Real Collective.
which is
Yeah.
another podcast. So go check us out. We're on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook and Instagram. So the Real Collective podcast. Because we have a lot of different variations. We're not going to do all that right now. But go ahead.
But yeah, shout out to that.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Chris. I am
go ahead,
opening
go
my
ahead.
business in
Yo,
October for customization. So that's Personify Creations on Instagram. Follow me. There is a period in between Personify.creations. Just let y'all know. Sorry. Go ahead.
Listen, hey, that's what we love seeing people. Yo, once again, for everything, you're doing it.
She also broke the
thank
fourth
you.
wall of segues.
Oh, bow.
So listen, y'all. You already know. I got some shit to talk about.
All right, let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's talk about Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott.
Really weak. I'm just kidding.
Let's talk about him going like in an interview talking about how he's depressed. He's his brother committed suicide. You have the coronavirus, like that whole thing. But then you also everywhere you look on TV, on your phone, out in the streets in real life, you see our brothers and sisters getting killed. That's a lot for someone to take in. And he's damn well like, I understand if you're depressed. Like that makes sense. It makes sense. So you hear that and you're thinking, all right, this guy needs some good vibes. He needs, some moral support. But you have Skip Bayless on ESPN and his comments about depression and about Dak Prescott saying that he needs to, be the leader that he needs to be out on the field. That whole talk about depression is weak. It's all about leadership and staying strong. That is, listen. That is toxic masculinity.
Textbook.
Textbook.
Look at Chris using words I don't like.
It's nuts. Like, you're telling me that this man who's gone through all this, as of course, like everyone else has gone through COVID, everyone else has gone through like this, that, and the third. But for him losing his brother, that in itself is enough to shake somebody to their core. But no, to him, to the many people that just, they watch football, They have all this money invested in football. To them, he's just a number. To them, he is just another score on the scoreboard. The actual person they don't care about. They just care about getting their money.
Y'all see what I fucking mean? Like, like just rewind to like small clips of the past 10 episodes or so. Y'all see what I fucking mean? Like,
so here's my thing. To Skip Bayless. Actually, no, fuck this. To Drac. My man. We understand what you're going through. Some people, you know, can empathize. Some people have gone through what you've gone through. So we understand, my man, if you're feeling down, like, I don't know, like you have a lot of people reaching out. You have a lot of people on your side. Like, just take some of that energy. Like, go talk to somebody, you know, vent. I wouldn't vent with news media. That's something I wouldn't have. I understand. And what he did was good. Like, you want someone in his position to say, I'm human. We were talking about in the pre-show how, like, in Hollywood, Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, they're supposed to be playing teenagers. They're like, you have kids looking up to these false gods. But then you have Drac Prescott saying, hey, no, like, I'm not going to do that. I'm human. I get depressed. To call that weak.
I think he was speaking towards his community and like people that also have experienced those things. So anyone who hasn't, like, you don't have an input, like how someone else grieves and processes. Because whether you lose someone or not, if you're going through something that's rocked you, as Chris said, to your core, like, you need to give that person everything that they need so that they're okay and they don't hurt themselves, you know? So, sorry, that went really dark, I guess. My bad.
Oh,
No,
it's true,
but
though.
yeah, like, you're allowed to feel whatever it is that you want to feel. Like, if you're sad, you're allowed to be sad. If you're happy, you're allowed to be happy. But people over here talking about that's weak. Why?
you're letting someone know that a natural part of themselves is weak. Like, the largest battle that I had with my mental health was recognizing something that I could not help going through as a weakness, like something I couldn't talk about because then somebody would use it against me, or that, like, I was, like, you know, not performing to my best ability. Sometimes me being depressed is me performing to my best ability, and if you don't like it, suck it. Like, and I think it's really important for somebody who, even though that's shitty platform, I think it's important for them to, like, at least be able to talk about their feelings. So that's nice, but I think it was a good opportunity to also kind of expose how fucked up the sports system in general is.
Yes. Like I said before, we're just that,
It's a
you know, the extra
win-win.
stat. We're that, you know, person that's going to get them through their fantasy league and
you
win
know
money.
what? I think all of that was happening before, but because, you know, we were so caught up in our everyday lives, like, now you have more celebrities that are being affected by it. Before they could go out and turn up and forget about, you know, everything that they're going through, but now maybe not, it's not so much that they're feeling it more, but we're noticing it more because we have nothing else, like, to distract us from what's really going on and people using their platform for good.
I'll say, have you noticed
Yeah.
that most, like, celebrities are, like, super locked down in quarantine?
Like, they're
Like-
not risking anything,
They're not.
and we're out here lit. America, do
Gang-
theater,
gang
do
gang.
theater. Okay.
Yeah, like, it's talking to, like, friends that live in other countries. Like, they we sit there and we laugh about it, but, like, yo, your country's wildin'. Like, we're the, you know, the third world country. We're the shithole country
Right.
that
Oh, look
Trump
how
was
that
talking
came
about.
full
Yeah,
circle.
full
Oh.
circle.
Like,
Yeah, it's wild. But
I'm laughing, but, like, this is really stressful.
yeah. We're just laughing on the outside, but inside we're crying.
Like, I'm panicking
Like
a
all
little
of you,
bit
okay?
about, like, the state
We
of our
got one
country.
stimulus check for $1,200, and not even everybody got it.
Hello.
One, though.
Y'all got played.
And I know, but then I keep hearing,
got
like,
played.
oh, Trump signed this into the thing. We're supposed to be getting money. And then I'm hearing, oh, wait, no, he lied. He didn't know
all
what
he
he was
does all
talking
day.
about. That we're
Take his
actually going to
phone
get
away.
this. Like right now, people are talking about how we're supposed to get 1,800.
No, we're not.
I believe on this my account.
Who said that?
I don't believe nothing y'all
Right?
say.
And
Nothing.
and it's wild because like I'm hearing wild shit in like different pockets of like people that I interact with. So like this group of people are saying, yeah, we're gonna get 3,000. This group of people are like, no, we're supposed to be getting like 400 a month. Like
Shit's
before.
not adding up. Someone figure it out.
Y'all, none of this
Tag
shit
us.
makes sense.
Let us know because I'm confused. I don't believe it.
It makes no sense. But to reel it back in, once again,
Throw in different options, see which one trends the
Oh
fastest.
my god.
Sorry.
reel it back in once again. Real quick, can I talk to the fellas? Fellas, actually, let me pull that back. Fellas and ladies. Wait, it's 2020. Yeah. Fellas, ladies, and thems. Listen, come in. Listen. So if you're in a just point of power, if you're an athlete, if you're an artist, if you're in a position where you could be exploited and your higher ups, your managers, the people that are looking out for you aren't really looking out for you, just pull back, focus on yourself. I'd rather you let's say for example, let's say LeBron James is like, I'm just gonna take a year off because mentally I've gone through so much this year. You'll have two sides. You'll have people saying, no, just dribble your basketball. Who cares what you're thinking? But then you have us who make, we understand. We're like, LeBron, take your year off. Get some rest. My dog, sleep. Relax.
Relax.
It's crazy how many people are on the side of just dribble that basketball. So if you're in that position and you're watching this show or you're watching this clip, I want you to know that you have people that are on the opposite side. We want you to, be a human, talk about your depression, talk about how you have your issues. Be more real to these little kids that are looking up to you. And take your time off.
But even with that, then you get people that backlash them with, oh, they have to be better role models. Like, celebrities aren't forced to raise your kids, bro. Like, you have to do your job as a parent.
All right, so this is a side note. I just want to say this because it makes so much sense of what you said, and I feel like at some point I wanted to talk about it. Can we talk about how Cardi B was on Instagram Live, and WAP comes on. So she's singing, she's dancing, she's turning up. But then her daughter comes into frame and walks in. She's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't want her listening to that music. Cut it off. Why is it that Cardi B doesn't want her child to be exposed to that music?
I think she knows who she makes her music for, and it's not fucking kids.
And she has the sense to say, no, you're too young to listen to this music. Let's turn it off.
So you guys that are hyping your kids up, that's not cute.
People were criticizing her for saying that she doesn't let her daughter listen to her music, and they're like,
Criticizing
oh,
what?
but our kids are hearing that shit. Like, yeah, that's your fault, bitch.
Exactly.
You have all the control of that.
Literally.
If you're complaining about someone else doing it, you're a shitty parent.
She's not out here saying, hey, boys and girls, have sex at fucking 13, 12 years old. Like, she's not doing that shit. She's making music for
adults.
Yeah, she's not on Sesame Street talking about the ABCs of her vagina.
And you know what? Even you grown-ass bitches, she's not talking to you. Put that shit away, all right? Come on. Have some self-control. And if you feel like doing it, that's fine. Just fucking take care of yourself. Just don't be, and that goes to the guys, too. We're doing too much shit that we can fucking prevent.
Wear a condom.
It's that simple.
And a mask.
You're not going to die.
And a mask. Thank you, Jade.
You still going to come. It's all right. You're going to be straight. I promise.
Not during. Just listen. Not during. Not during.
Yes, during.
How am I supposed to suck dick with a mask on?
What?
Yeah.
See,
cut the whole
I was trying to. Jade, I was trying to stop us before we got to that point. I was trying to stop us, and it happened.
All right. You saw where it was going. I'm sorry.
All right.
We can cut that part out, right?
No, we're keeping it in.
It's in
We're
there,
keeping it in. All right. Y'all.
I can't mask my feelings for you.
While we're on this subject, not that subject.
Well then.
But what? I'm trying to reel this in. Let me reel it in a little bit more. All right. icebreaker time. Icebreaker time.
I'm ready.
I couldn't find the segue. We're just gonna jump straight into
Oh,
it.
part of the
It is
answer
an
to this.
icebreaker,
Yeah,
though. It's
it
supposed
is.
to be dived
it
into.
That's the joke. That was the joke.
Uh,
That was the joke. All right, y'all. Why aren't marriages lasting like our grandparents' generation?
I have a perfect answer for
What
this.
is
off
going
bat.
on?
Me too.
All right, so wait. So, like, do you want us to like give our opinions and you're like wrong? This
No.
Oh, you want
I'm gonna tell you
jump?
what it is.
All right, so what
Okay,
is it? All
we're
right.
just not putting up with y'all shit no more,
Hey, fucking men,
and we
bitch.
don't need y'all. So fuck y'all. We doing good by ourselves. It's not saying that we don't need y'all, but like if y'all
Yes,
not
it
acting
is.
right, we not tolerating
but yeah,
it no more.
dead ass. Our grandparents, like my grandmother, doesn't work. She's been, with my grandfather for 50 years or plus. So like, if they weren't together, like she doesn't work, like nothing.
Exactly.
And a lot of them just didn't work. They were housewives, and they had to be with a man's, or they wasn't gonna have nowhere to live. They
Yeah,
have to move back in with their parents or something.
I mean, my grandmother's like guide to marriage sounded a lot more like a survivor's guide through like an abusive like environment. So that's why relationships aren't lasting long anymore, because I can already tell, I can know what you're about to say to me, and I'm just gonna let me go ahead and
Go ahead. Go ahead.
preemptively say
Go
that
ahead.
I do not give a shit. Men are realizing exactly how useless they were. Because women have realized that all the men's jobs that they've set are hard.
They're not even that
They
hard.
lied to us. You
How dare
lied to us.
I've been doing shit on my car, like shit that
You
people are
know,
like,
I
you can't
taught
do
you.
that. You're a girl. Like,
A YouTube video can fix that for you, sis. Don't
but it's
let
not.
him tell
It's
you.
not even as hard as they make it
I
out to be.
taught
You
her
just
how to
gotta
change
turn
a
a few
tire.
things, pick up some stuff. Like,
Because I'm a
I'm like-
fucking
it's
lady.
not hard.
Bob the Builder's little cousin. Okay, I'm Consuela. I love to build stuff. There's a reason why I went into crafts. All right, I build everything, tools, anything. Okay.
Yeah, because whenever men are asking us why we aren't able to cook, we're asking them why they build a fucking house. And
Can't do that.
you
They
know.
want us to iron. You iron. Learn.
Yeah, a little ugly. I gotta
Figure
work
it
too.
out. Right.
You see that ugly?
So, I had a whole ass point
Sorry. Let's
That, like- sort of made sense.
But not
And now we just demolished it.
And that's why I wanted to go first, because I was like, I know where they're gonna take
Of course,
this.
you wanted to go first,
Oh.
so you can mansplain.
Oh,
Our situation.
Shit. Yeah, this is why marriages aren't lasting,
That's
Chris.
no, listen. No, listen. Can we
And now
talk?
he's telling us to listen. Go ahead, sir.
To be fair, it's his turn.
Have the floor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So can we talk?
I'll let you. Okay.
Oh,
Just kidding.
you can't walk off your own podcast.
All right,
God
listen.
damn it.
Listen. Shit. Let me pull back and like for a second, I forgot where I was going with
That
this.
is. Shut
All
up,
right.
y'all.
All right. Can we talk about this is like, I guess, also in our generation where people are getting married way too quick.
As opposed to our 16-year-old
Are
grandparents.
you right?
Exactly.
Like what?
Oh, well, I mean, but
Yeah.
Explain it. Explain
Yeah.
it. Please do.
So-
Go ahead.
You were pushed into marriage. Our grandparents were.
not fucking everybody though.
My grandmother married the man
I'm
that she
Or
met when
you?
she was
No, but I'm
15.
talking about you. Like in today, like in 2020, are you sold off to a cow and 200 gold?
No, but the average person gets married at the age of 25, whereas the average person back then got married almost at the age
Like
of 18.
That's what
Okay,
I was
so
talking about.
they listen. All right, so that's a whole different age. I'm talking about it now. How people are getting into relationships. We've all seen it, and not really know the person. So they just sort of rush into a relationship.
think
They
it's
did that back
because
then too. What are you talking
I
about?
think that's the same way that like our parents just told us, like, I knew the first time I saw her how. Sway. I go on 5 dates and still be like, I don't know about this nigga. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
got,
all the stories I heard were like, yeah, we courted for about 6 months and then he proposed. Like,
How did you know? Forever? Bitch, that's a long time. Okay, like that's a long fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, they also probably knew each other for an extended amount of time because they went to school together too. And
that
everything
was a
else.
lot of the case too. Yeah, like
Yeah,
they were
I
high
married
school
my high
sweetheart.
school sweetheart.
So
We
when
watched each other go through puberty and
so I
everything.
want so I
Fucking
also
weird.
no, I
I do
also
have
want
another point to that, but go ahead.
I also wanted to say that social media isn't help. because
Absolutely not. When is it ever?
no, I'm saying like it's honestly one of like the worst
I agree
things
with
to
that.
go into like
I
that
concur.
affect relationships is because naturally we're already insecure. Most people to a certain point are insecure about stuff. So when it comes down to relationships, wow, now they have 24-hour access to this person because they're putting on their story, because like they're talking about it in their status. Like you could pick up on when the same person is hearting that person, like your significant other's reactions. It's like, oh, I'm at the gym, heart. Oh, I'm taking a poop, heart.
Why?
Why is this nigga
y'all
hearting all of your stuff?
Why?
Social media, like you could, if you have a brain, you can see that stuff. So that could be at that point, that could sort of be like, the work husband, or that could be like the friend that you've had for a minute. But
Dang, he went in deep on that.
Yeah.
The work husband,
Oh, not the
bitch.
work
Everybody has
husband.
a work
No,
husband. all right?
no.
Unless you work in an office full of bitches, which happens sometimes. But
Oh, I'll have a work
so,
wife.
all right, so can I say that like that whole thing of having like a work husband, I know it's
y'all
both sides
somebody's
doing
work
it.
husband. So
I know it's both sides leading into it, but there are studies, or a study that
oh
showed
my god,
that women are more likely to have that work husband. Guys, we don't have the runner up if the other person messes up.
Well, that's because y'all aren't conditioned into dependency.
because y'all feel like y'all can just conquer anybody. You're like not even thinking.
You don't
about
have
the
to
next one.
worry
If
about
it
it.
ends, it's like I'm gonna move on.
I mean, you got to.
But why have a backup? That's let's view
we're
that.
because-
having
why have a backup?
in case you up and leave us for a younger bitch.
No. Hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm hearing you out.
Generational fucking like conditioning. You got to have a backup because 9 times out of 10, women that I've run into feel like they're not anything unless they're like 9 times out of 10, you're not recognized unless there's a man beside you in a room, and not as like somebody who has an opinion. You're recognized as somebody who they can conquer, and that's real shit. Like anytime that most of the time, like the people who need that person to lean on, if they are women, it's because of like social conditioning to like need a man around to depend on. I mean, I had the same problem for a very long time until I quit having a work husband and I started having employees. So
Oh,
Okay, all right.
Mike.
But you can sort of see where like when I saw this question, where my mind went was like I could see why.
men's disloyalties are a lot easier to spy on now,
Oh,
Thanks to social media.
thanks to social media. Men's
But I feel like
disloyalties.
it also like
You
They
can
really
see
don't
how
be
it's-
smart with it though. Sometimes, like it's
Yeah,
pretty
this just
easy to hide
backfired,
stuff.
didn't
I
it, Chris?
think.
Yo, I was trying to make it like where men don't look like shit at this segment, but
it's
yeah,
going
listen.
that
All right,
way.
hold on.
Stop
hold on,
talking
hold on,
about
hold on,
relationships
hold on,
then, because
hold on.
that's
listen,
all.
hold on, y'all, guys, listen. Right now it's just us.
You're not here right now.
Everyone else is gone. They're not listening. Listen, it's just me and you, guys. What the fuck are you doing? Relax. Stop. Like, listen. If after 2 DMs, they don't want to talk to you.
Oh my God!
Listen,
while we're on
listen,
that, if you message me and I don't respond, and then you message
Why
me
do
like
you
3 days
continue?
later,
Why?
you message
I
me
don't
3 days
like
later,
you.
and I still don't respond. What are you doing?
I'm not interested.
Just
to be
stop.
Girl, I have messages from 2014 and they're still going.
Oh my god!
Hey.
Yes.
Still going.
Guys,
Girl,
you're
how you
listening
doing?
right
You
now,
look
right?
good.
These are all
I
notes.
know,
Listen,
that's why
I
I'm
got you.
posting
I
it.
got you. Like this.
I know. Hello.
The eyes into what they see. You here with me, right? You're listening.
You have no excuse now.
Relax.
Y'all weird.
Stop.
If we don't respond the first time, just
We're never gonna respond again.
We're at
after
least
that 'cause
like
we
if we're
think you're
trying
a
to get your
serial
attention,
killer.
like we're gonna like at least be cohesive. Like you make a post, we're gonna be like, oh,
You know?
like, and leave a
Yeah,
cute comment.
thank you.
It'll make sense, but we're just not like out the blue, like consistent with it. Like y'all be determined. Stop. It's tiring.
When it makes sense, it makes sense. When they're messaging back, they're interested. They're like, there's something there. But if it's nothing, yo, as the guy in the room that hears this when I'm setting up stuff, when I'm like doing whatever,
these men ain't
I
shit.
listen. I
talk
try
about
to
y'all
like
25/7,
listen. I
okay?
try to be like, yo, but not all of us are like that. But it
of
goes
course
back.
not.
But it goes back to the conversation
But
of
y'all
like,
a really small pool, like
look,
good ones.
yeah. So it goes back. It's sort of like the
Where
conversation.
y'all hiding them at? Where they at?
It's sort of like how like people are like, well, you know, there's so many good cops, but the bad cops are really out there, and if you don't, you know, call it out, guys, you still with me, right? Let's normalize calling out bullshit. Like if your homeboys do, like listening to rap lyrics of like, have you seen the there's like a post of like one of the like a song from Rick Ross, and he's like,
Oh yeah.
I put a Molly in a cup.
Took her home, enjoyed
Like,
that.
you guys should have been like, wait a minute, nigga. What you do?
Took her home and didn't even. Yeah,
you know it.
Like, Rick
Yeah,
Ross
I
don't do
don't
that shit
recall
no
which
more.
one are you talking
Yo,
about.
my nigga, that's a whole case. What are you doing?
Right.
No, if anybody claims it, they have proof.
That's a whole case. Stop. Relax. That shit ain't cool. So,
At the end of the day, y'all need to fucking chill, men, with all of your shenanigans.
y'all make it hard.
'Cause-
Y'all make it hard for me to
thought
be in
she
these
wanted
rooms
it.
hearing
No, the
this.
fuck you didn't.
So I want to
You
be like,
fucking knew, nigga.
listen, I want to be like, yo, but here's my rebuttal. But then y'all have the receipts of like so many people doing it.
I've
And
been
I'm like,
engaged twice.
Let me get my bag. Like, we got them. All right.
Yo.
We got, y'all may be experiencing like one creepy shit in your lifetime. We've experienced that at least twice in an hour. Okay. Like,
Yes.
don't compare. It's
I
not
know
the same.
people like by name who are the reason why I walked in my car with like my keys
Shit
between
in your
my
fucking
knuckles.
hands. Like, y'all don't fucking have to do that. We do that. That's fucking weird, all right?
Yeah,
You look
we're
like
trained
cats and shit.
how to combat that crazy ass shit
Yo, so
from
no-
an early age.
and like, so shout out to I have a sister. Shout out to Crystal.
Party.
Oh, Chris and Crystal, that's cute.
She,
Oregano.
we have like a me and her have a group chat with like our cousins, and she was like, "Hey y'all, listen, I had the weirdest experience this past weekend," and she's talking about how she was supposed to meet up with a friend in Atlanta, and she's crossing the street, and like some dude is like following her. She then starts walking faster. He starts walking faster. She then crossed the streets. He then crossed the street. At this point, she's like, she's like freaking out. Luckily, one of her friends like randomly called. So she was like, yeah, like yada, yada, yada. The guy's like hearing that he's talking, like she's talking to somebody, and like they're ready to like drive over there to beat his ass. She's like, all right, you know, the guy hears it. He then goes off. I'm like, yo, like, as a guy, we don't go through that stuff. We don't like worry about going somewhere and like having to worry about someone chasing us down. Like, we don't have to worry about that. So me knowing that like an experience like that could like shake her, I was like, hey, you know, a couple Christmases ago, we got like tasers. What happened to your taser? She was like, oh, I had it in my bag, and I was trying to I was traveling to some, you know, it's like New York or something, and TSA took it. So immediately I was like, yo, what's your address? I'm going on Amazon. I'm buying your taser, pepper spray, all that stuff. Immediately, like, hit it up. I was like, yo, like, y'all, we got to do better. As guys, don't be that person doing that. But then also, as guys, if you see that shit happening,
Stop it.
stop it. All it takes is for one of us is to step up, and the other person will back up. So, my niggas, guys, listen. Just relax. So now I'm gonna bring back everybody else.
Thanks for the invite.
All the females, the females,
I forgot.
all
I was
thems.
totally to be
That went a
excluded, and
little
I was
left
so in
field.
that conversation. I'm so sorry. guys.
Yes. So
A little left
we're
field
back
there.
in. We're back in. Thank you for tuning in. We're gonna jump into
Velvet time. That's okay.
unfortunate fact of the week. Morgan, what you got?
Okay, so before I do it, Velvet and Roxie, how do y'all say popcorn in Spanish?
Palomitas.
Same.
Okay.
I'm looking at this right now, and I'm very
That's
confused.
not
It's not even on there.
No, it is.
Palomitas de
maíz.
Yeah.
Who says all that? That's a mouthful. It's
Just
palomitas. Or paloma. Well, no.
So basically why I asked is because there are 17 different ways to say popcorn in Spanish. Just depending on where, like, they have a different way in Argentina.
Guatemala's, that's why.
Apparently there's 3 different ways to say it in Colombia. Chile has a way, Peru.
I'm looking
Ecuador.
at both Dominican
Wait,
ways,
all right,
and I'm
hold
like,
on,
I
hold
can't
on.
even read
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Y'all.
you
My
don't
parents didn't
recognize
teach me
that?
Spanish.
Time
I
out.
had to self-taught myself. Okay.
There are 3 ways in one language to say one word.
No, 17.
No.
17.
Spanish.
One,
God, I'm so
7.
stupid.
'Cause
So listen,
many
no.
dialects.
So all right. So it's even worse. There's 17 ways to say the same word in the same language.
Yes. And then then you guys have the, well, I can't say you guys. Whoever fucking walks up to people and say, "Oh, why didn't you understand them?" Because we have different fucking dialects. All right, we don't always understand each other. Like,
No.
most of the time, it's very confusing experience. Okay, don't judge us.
Yeah, like Spanish is funky.
You know what's funny? So coming from a Haitian household,
Y'all something else too. Okay.
yeah. So Creole is like an offshoot of French, but we just have to worry about French and Creole. We don't have to worry about different countries speaking different things.
But there's
A lot of
countries.
words in French a lot of words in Creole come from French. It's like a slang.
Right.
So essentially, we're the Ebonics of French.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I just always thought like other countries like that speak some sort of Creole or French, like they have their own kind of dialect of whatever they speak. So it'll still
But
be like
I'm not talking about I'm talking about words though, like whole words. Like
talking about slang.
yeah, so like when you think Creole, you think like Louisiana, you think like all of that. No, I'm talking about like just language. We're just the slang, yeah.
We just like to be complicated.
But for Spanish, y'all.
But there is a lot of history as to why
17?
we all speak all retarded. So
I thought this was my
lot.
segment.
we're sorry. We're gonna go ahead, Morgan.
No, I mean that was pretty much it. Yeah, it's all kind of different ways. There's a lot of words like that too. But yeah, it's cool. I'm done.
I'm still trying to figure out like how do you
Next.
say it in some other languages because it looked weird. I was like, I don't even know how to begin to say that. I'm good.
And that's unfortunate. Dot 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 dot. Velvet.
Yes.
What you got?
Can't have nothing.
So you said your segment. Damn. We were just going off your segment. Anyway, since we're on mine now. So the reason why she brought up a Hispanic fact or Spanish fact or whatever is because as of when you guys will see this, September 15th through October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month. Whoop, whoop. We actually have one of those. Yes. I did not know till high school.
Playing all those dances.
Yes.
We did those shits,
yes.
right?
Yes. She knows. If you've been to Luella, you know what we're talking about.
You know.
But so going off into that, what's the word? Anyways, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But there was a word I was looking for. Anyways, my point
The
is.
theme of the episode.
There you go. Damn. Okay. So my movie recommendation for today is from a Mexican director. A lot of you guys might know him, Guillermo del. I always want to say his last name with 2 R's, but there's only 1 R. It's Toro. I'm gonna just say it in English, Toro, because I'm gonna try to roll my R's.
Our rolls are, yeah. It looks like
I
it.
always want to roll my R, but
You know
anyways.
what's funny? I see it and I try to roll the R's and I can't roll the R's. So it just sounds stupid when I say it.
But you see, I try to roll my R's and there's only 1 R in his name. Anyways, you know who I'm talking about. He's made a lot of movies. You guys probably heard of him, The Orphanage, etc., etc. Today, I'm talking about Pan's Labyrinth, which is my first ever encounter with Guillermo. Oh, shit. He's Mexican, like I said, and that's the reason why I wanted to bring him into this segment today, because he's Mexican, Hispanic, and he's won awards, which is rare for us. But you know, we're going to take it.
You said rewards.
So, did I? I don't know what the fuck I said.
Rewards.
Oh, I guess. Awards. Anyways, so 2006 Pan's Labyrinth. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix because you guys like to complain about where to find them.
So I
It's
was gonna say we could stretch out to like Amazon Prime, Disney Plus.
movies that I have been recommended have been found on there.
They're all like
No.
if you have the
That's your search.
DVD.
Heritage,
No.
Heritage,
Google
and
it, like,
Midsommar
you
are on
can
Amazon
Google
Prime.
Hereditary?
Hereditary.
Or was it on Amazon Prime?
Yes, I've been saying that.
Oh.
Yeah.
And y'all complain about, we need to go to the library to find it. No. Just look for it. It's on the interweb
Heritage.
somewhere. Anyways, Pan's Labyrinth 2006. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. It is in Spanish, Spain Spanish. For those of you who are Spanish speaking, it is Spain Spanish. So it's different. Yeah, it's different. But there's subtitles. Definitely check it out. It's worth it. It's a fairy tale. And it's cute, y'all. It's really cute. Please watch it. It's so good. Please watch it. Like I said, this is a Hispanic director, which is rare.
What do you rate it?
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. I'd say a 9, just because I also have personal ties to this movie,
okay.
as far as like meaning and all that stuff. It means a lot to me. This particular movie. It is also very good. Like I said, there's good storytelling. It's literally a story within a story. When you see it, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see.
Probably like don't be high while watching it.
No, no. This does have, like I said, it's a fairy tale, so it does have a lot of like it has fairies. It has
I'm totally smoking before I watch it.
oh my god. It has
Same.
I know what it's called in Spanish, but I don't know what it's called. It's a fauna, which is
Fun.
Yeah, you lost me.
fawn. There you go. Is that the same? Is this the same thing?
It's like an elf, right?
Going back
You're
to
so
our
No.
17 languages. It's like
I don't know. But point is, there's a lot of like mythical creatures in this. So that's why I probably wouldn't recommend it. But if you're gonna do it, go for it. You'll probably enjoy it more. I don't know.
Yellow.
Point is, I have it. Y'all want to have a movie night?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, here we go. Pan's Labyrinth. Like I said, check it out. Would I give it a 9?
Yeah, 9.
Bet.
Good job.
9. Ow. Okay, we're good.
Jade,
That's me. I'm Jade.
what you got this week for our music recommendations?
So Noah Cyrus, like, has a song, and her song is July, and it's really good. It's one of my favorites. It's about a year old, somewhere around there. But anyway, Noah Cyrus is an American alternative indie singer, songwriter, and actress. In 2016, she released her debut single "Make Me," featuring vocals from Labyrinth. Cyrus is the fifth child of Billy Ray and Tish Cyrus. Sorry. I always want to say Trish, but that's not her name. And she is the youngest sibling of Trace, Brandy, and Miley. Her fans closely relate through her shared experiences of mental illness, social aloofness, and free-spirited nightlife. I am in love with her. I suggest you look into even more of her music because her vocals are like, they're up there. But, you know, July is just one of my favorites just because it's sad and depressed. Like me.
Jeez.
you remind me of like a modern day Eeyore, but like in the cutest way. Like,
Eeyore.
I'm totally in love with Jade. Like from the
Thank
moment
you.
I got out of my car.
Wow. All right. So that's our music recommendation of the
That's
week.
awesome.
That's cute. I loved Eeyore.
Yes, I could relate to him too as a kid. I was kind of
Yeah, I was depressed when I was little too. Trauma started early.
Jesus. Here I was, a shonen protagonist. Like, all right. Oh,
I wasn't at first.
Is
That's the
that why
worst
you're so
part.
extra now?
oh.
Just kidding. I've
Wow.
always been depressed.
Always had to there.
I was born chemically imbalanced.
Listen, y'all. Listen.
Okay.
Feel it in.
All right,
we
Noah
have-
Cyrus.
We have 1/5 of the collective in the building. Shout out to Miss Roxie. And we had you on because we wanted to, with Velvet, talk about misconceptions of the Hispanic community.
Yeah, you guys didn't think I had something to add to that, huh? I don't know. Are you gonna talk, Chris?
Yeah. So all right. So I have just a couple that, of course, like, all right. So with quick aside, I am slightly getting like the whole like local celebrity vibe when I'm at work, and someone comes in, I'm checking them out, and they're like, "You're that podcast guy, right?" I was like, "Yo, word. Thank you. Shout out. Thank you for your support." So yeah, so like shout out to all that. I just want to shout that out. Shout it out. Shout out to Griffin.
Right.
Okay.
So
Thanks, Chris.
at work, no, I wanted to lead that into like at work, people are like, "Yo, so what are you talking about on the podcast?" So I have a coworker, shout out to Genesis, she's Puerto Rican. We're in the middle of an inventory on Monday, like counting stuff that like it said we have to count a set of like 50. It says 49. Hey yo, I'm not recounting this again. It's 49. that type of stuff. I was like, hey, listen, we're doing an episode about like misconceptions and just Hispanic community. She got really excited. Like she listens to the show. She shares our content. I was like, hey, I want your input. What should I bring up in this conversation? So I have a couple talking points. I think some of ours like share, so I'll tune in to what she said as well. But I wanted to ask, what's up with like the Hispanic like dinner etiquette and like setting food?
Ooh. How is yours? Because just like with the language thing, with the whole Spanish thing, it's different for everybody.
I feel like my family was just in their own little lane, own little bubble, doing whatever Dominican shit they wanted to. So like when I was younger though, like we would have to all sit down at the table, and it was like a whole thing. And like Thanksgiving, my dad would get mad every year at my grandma because she would take forever, but she took her time. Like that's just who she was. She's crazy though, but you know, all grandmas are.
Facts.
But like now as adults, or like even in high school, like we would sit together, but like it wasn't as like how I remembered it as a kid. But if we still have like big events, we definitely like, especially with my friends, I feel like when we have dinners and stuff like that, we do more of the like sitting down and talking and bullshitting than what like me and my actual family do, unless my siblings are up here, and then it's like a whole game of charades at the table. So
What about you, Velvet?
Well, I wish. So as far as like she said, like if with her siblings, if my cousins are around, it's a shit show in the best way possible. However, like I was always taught, you know how you guys see those posts like, oh, who do you feed first, your kid or your husband or whatever? So actually, it didn't for us. It doesn't matter who gets served first. We all eat at the same time. So like, if say we're all at the table, right, about to eat, right? Yeah, I know. If she's getting her food and Roxie already has her food, we're waiting till Morgan sits down. Like if we all have our food and Morgan hasn't gotten her food yet, we're waiting on Morgan. That's just how we were. So it wasn't like a necessarily like who gets served first. It's we're all eating at the same time. And so that's kind of like how I was.
I didn't realize that was the question. My bad. My dad definitely had to be fed first. Like whoever the man was of the house, yeah, they normally got fed first, and it was like, yo, I'm hungry. Fuck that nigga. Like
So yes, so that's what she brought up. She was like, so for her, she's been in situations where for her, it's, you know, the men eat first, but at the same time, then like the kids, and like it sort of like cycles through to everybody else. But she said she's been to the point where she's been at a friend's house, and all the men are sitting down, they're eating, and the women are like in the living room just like
I've experienced
talking.
that too.
They're like sort of like kicking back, but then once the men are done, that's when they can eat.
Oh hell no.
That's fucking wild.
What
I've
the
had that.
fuck?
I've seen that happen. But
wild.
normally it's been like let the women and the children eat first, and then like the men all eat later with their beers and talking whatever nonsense, and we're like cleaning up.
Okay.
But to that extreme, nah, I would have been flipping some plates.
So-
I'm fat. I like
So,
food.
so I want
Big
so,
velvet, bruh.
so I want to flip it to
Same
the other
page.
side of the table at the same time. Like we asked this question, we see, like you said, we see these questions on Facebook. What about y'all? Like your experience, how does that work?
Well, you see, I like didn't get to experience because, you know, I'm mixed, right? I didn't get to experience a whole lot of my culture, except for like the early parts of my life. But when my grandma was alive, and I did get to experience the culture, she set the table. Nobody touched anything until the last person standing was sitting down. It was the same way as Velvet, like. But I mean, I didn't get to like learn Spanish. I didn't get to like learn everything about it, and you know, I'm with the Caucasian persuasion, so like everyone thinks I'm white. But yeah, that was exactly how it was.
Caucasian
Nobody.
persuasion.
Yeah, you asked, may I please be excused? And if you got up, like if you put your elbows and stuff on the table, she'd walk around and pop you in the head with
Oh,
her
wow.
long ass red nails.
Wow.
Like, no, you had table etiquette. You did not burp. You did not like. You waited until everybody else ate to leave too. 9 times out of 10. And if you did leave, you said, may I please be excused? Like. Yeah, and the kids stuck around and helped my grandma.
So were all of y'all at the same table?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
all
didn't
5.
experience like a kids table until
Yeah.
like
No, we
I
never
met
had a
my
kids
other
table.
American friends, and I was like,
Yeah, we got a kids
Like,
table
why
whenever
I gotta
I
go
with
to the kids
my.
table? Fuck you.
See, no, but the thing is, half the time not half the time, majority of the time, the kids' table is lit because like we're not talking about like shit that's gonna cause arguments. We're just chilling. We're vibing.
Man, I was always sent to get the beers. I ain't appreciate that. So, all my cousins, fuck y'all. I love y'all, but fuck y'all.
Like so, coming from a Haitian American household, there was a mixture of like the older generation. They're doing that thing. They're like pulling in. They're getting the plates for like the men. They're sitting at the table, and then like the women are sitting at the table. But then at that point, honestly, it's free for all. Food's everywhere. Get what you want. Sit where you want. And like I said, it's all about just finding like that relative that you vibe with. You don't want to sit next to that relative that's like talking about Trump. Why the fuck are you talking about Trump
I'm trying
at a family event?
Enjoy this food.
Exactly.
Enjoy this griot, because I know y'all eat it. Ooh. I'm on it. My fiance's Haitian, so oh yeah, I ain't that type of Dominican. Right?
You find out that this griot, you're making sure you have your leftovers. You're making sure you have all that set so you have it for later, but then you also have it for now because it's gonna run out. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. But yeah, like it's really interesting seeing that everyone's different.
Morgan, what was it like at family dinner for you?
Oh, okay. So, yeah, it was usually my mom fixed everyone's plates. Me and my sister usually got ours first, then my dad, and then my mom made hers last and would sit down, and I never liked that. I would never do that. Me personally, if I just like slaved in the kitchen for a few hours cooking, I'm getting my plate first. Y'all get your asses up, get your own plates, and let's go sit at the table. I'm not serving nobody. I just cooked. That's how I feel about it.
That's true though, because
self-serve.
Like whoever's cooking is usually the one who serves, and they're always the last.
And the ones that end up
sit.
eating last. What the hell? Yeah. I just cooked this.
The only thing that I like appreciated from like I guess my family was that we all ate at the same time. Granted, like if my mom cooked or whatever, she was still like served last, or she served herself last. But we still ate all at the same time.
Technically, we still had to wait because my dad wanted to pray first before we ate. We had to bless the food first. Yeah, whatever.
Bless the person who made it. Bless who like worked on the food.
But like
Blessings.
I said, for me,
I feel like the Mexicans normally do that.
I get my
very
plate
well.
first.
Like that was like the first time I experienced where they were like, as they're getting up from the table, instead of saying, you know, buen provecho, which is just like enjoy, they're like thanking God and the person that cooked it. I was just like, the kindness. I'm like, we did not have that in my household. What the hell?
Yeah.
So
now
it
that
is
I'm,
very different.
It was like expected of my mom, you know?
Yeah,
so
like,
there was no thanks. It was like, all right, you did your job.
Yeah, now that I like have a pretty like Caucasian family, my dad actually cooks, and he makes my mom's plate. And
That's so sweet.
Everybody else gets up and gets their own. Like sometimes I'll pick up my little sister. It's just random people in the house pick up the little sister, up until but she picks out her servings and stuff. So pretty much it's kind of like everybody throws in together and does their thing. Only person, yeah,
That's
like
me and my friends now. But
that's how it is with my family. And like usually me and my sister are the ones to clean up afterwards. Or like, but I mean, I hardly ever do. I forget.
I ate at a friend's house. She's half Vietnamese, half Chinese. This was back in high school, and they actually, after her mom was done cooking, she brought everything to the table, and then we would sit there. We each had bowls of rice, and we would reach in and put the food in our bowl ourselves, like, you know. And they kind of put it in front. It was good too, by the way. It was a fire.
All right, so I feel like we're at a happy point. I'm gonna be that person that we gotta bring it to a real point, and so to talk about the real stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a conversation in the Hispanic community about colorism.
my life every day. Like, it's on my forefront every day. It's the things I worry about when I step out the door, when my son steps out the door, when my fiance steps out the door, with any of my friends or family step out the door. Like, it's there. Because we get treated different because we're darker. And, you know, like, they make jokes, like, to kind of coin it in a really cute way. But it's like, when you really look at it, the history, like, y'all don't treat us the same.
Mm-mm.
So it's because, like, upon first glance, like, people would assume, like, oh, you're a black woman.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What's annoying, though, is that there's black Hispanics in every country. There's black Puerto Ricans, there's black Dominicans, there's black Mexicans, there's black Colombians, there's black Cubans, there's black people from Honduras, there's black people from El Salvador, there's black people from every Hispanic country. And yet they're always looked down upon. Like, it's frustrating. Like, I know I've had to, like, I guess deal with it in my family as far as, like, some of them being kind of, like, stupid towards stuff like that. Like, thankfully not from my dad's side of the family, because we do have cousins and family that are black. So I haven't really experienced it on that side. But on my mom's side, we tend to be lighter. And I do have this one experience where I'm not even going to say what family member it is because it's going to give it away. But I have a family member who she's a little bit lighter and her mother is a little bit darker. So when she would go to school, she would say that was her nanny because she was ashamed because she was darker.
Wow.
Yes. So the thing is, like, I didn't grow up with her. She's older than me, but, like, hearing it now, like, when I did hear about it, it's kind of like I can't look at her the same. And, like, now she's like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. You know who you were back then, and you're still, like that. And it's just so annoying because they are black, Hispanic. They're Afro-Latinas. Like, why is it?
Can I bring up Sammy Sosa?
Oh,
God.
God.
Please. Go ahead, embarrass me in my country.
I'm sorry.
Go for it.
I'm sorry. So if you don't know, Sammy Sosa, Dominican American, former baseball player. For most people, they know him for the Cubs. If you look at pictures of him at the beginning of his career, at the middle of his career, to now, you can compare those pictures to a picture of Neapolitan ice cream.
yes.
He looks like a vampire. Like, it's
Oh, he
weird.
bleached his skin.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Aw.
just, like, nasty. Like, it came out great. Like, it,
So, like,
cute.
I can't
There's-
understand people like that because, like, I get so annoyed with the fact that every time I have to explain, like, my connection to Mexican culture, because it's like people, I mean, I'll never experience what, like, Afro-Latina people go through because they're actually, like, they're included in the community, but they're,
you
like,
get the reverse.
belittled.
Right,
I'm,
because
like,
you're
not
you're
included in the
superior.
community at all, 9 times out of 10.
If you
Anytime
don't
there's a
look certain type of
conversation about
way,
it,
it's sad.
people don't ever, like, look at me about it, which, I mean, I can understand, but I read a quote one time that it said there's no way to look Latina. There's no way to look like either you are or you aren't. It doesn't have anything to do with the tone of one's skin. And, you know, it just, I don't bitch about it because it's not that, like, you know, it's not like people are questioning my citizenship on a daily basis or, like, calling me names within the community I'm supposed to find solace in. But, like, at the same time, it's frustrating.
there's also, like, I feel like this younger generation sees through that bullshit. I mean, look at when we saw, like, all of these, like, peaceful protests going on. You had Bloods, Crips getting along together. But what, like, got me, and I was like, yo, like, we're inching towards that better timeline, is when I saw Haitians and Dominicans walking through the streets with the
That
flags
was
tied.
everything,
Yes.
okay?
That's iconic. Like, for a lot of
That's,
people
like,
who
something
don't
I'm
know,
ashamed
like,
of as Dominican, like, when they're like, oh, well, why do you guys hate the Haitians? I don't hate. I'm engaged to one. Like, I love y'all. Like, it feel like you guys are, like, our cousins, and we just got taught 2 different languages. Like, we didn't choose how our paths ended up. But
I was gonna say, your side of the island, the country owning us treated y'all better.
yeah, like,
They fought French. Fuck the French. Fuck
Damn.
the French. Pardon my French.
they, like,
wow.
They fucked us over on our
Yeah,
side.
like, a lot of people don't really know about that whole, like, thing where it's like, okay, the Dominican Republic and Haiti are on the same
Española.
thing.
Yes.
One
It's just
island.
split. It's one island, but it's split in half. The Dominican Republic and the Haitians. They
Haiti.
basically hated each other. And it just never made sense to me because I have a Dominican cousin. And I'm like, well, he's not, against Haitians. But, like, when he would tell me about it, I'm just like, what the fuck?
Like, the political aspect there is, like, it's trash right now just because, like, why are we trying to screw y'all over so bad? Like, if it wasn't for y'all, slavery would have never been abolished in DR. But because we were also brainwashed by our European standards, that's how we get into the colorism that we're currently in. Because, like, I have cousins to this day that are, like, ashamed of of letting their hair go curly. Like, meanwhile, me and my sister, you know, we have our pajongs or our fros. But it's just like, I'm not going to deny who I am. Like, if God gave me these curls and they popping, like, what you want me to do? Other people loving it, and my own people hate it. And it's just like, you lost. Like, you think I'm going to spend all that time, money? And I used to do it when I was a kid. My hair was so long when I got to Georgia, and someone burnt it all off because they thought it was a lot of hair. But that's also another culture shock I experienced, going from a fully Hispanic community to now more of my roots, because I didn't really understand what it was to be an Afro-Latina until I met that black side. Or still people try to differentiate it just because it's like hood or whatever, but it's just like, we're still fucking black. Like, DR is the second largest mulatto country in the world, and it's just like, for people to discredit us and they're like, oh, well, you guys can't say this or that. Like, we were slaves too before all of y'all were slaves. Like, so we got it from the beginning, and the only reason you guys came to exist is because they were killing us off. So, like, we went through the same thing. Granted, obviously I'm not as connected to that because my ancestors are further back in that experience, but our countries are still fucked up to this day. Like,
a lot of people don't know, like, Columbus and the rest of them landed there
right there, and they were like, oh, this is ours. Like,
yeah,
nah,
like, that's where it started, and then it branched up. Then they started aiming a little bit more north. Like, it's like the hate for Columbus that y'all have now. Like, for one, y'all are like, yo, fuck Columbus.
Christopher Columbus a bitch.
Yeah, name it something else. I'm like, yes, we've been saying this for, you know, generations. Yes.
Okay.
Your mom's a hoe, you don't deserve a holiday.
So imagine that hate y'all have now, but then amplify that for like hundreds of years. That's where we've been.
And what's worse, I think in my family, like, we had my mom who was like from the country, and then my dad was from the city. So like, they were like the fine ones or whatever. And coincidentally, like, his family was more darker people, and my mom was like super, like, I always joke that she's a highlighter, but bro, she's fucking bright. Like, her and my brother, they're bright, and like, we're the more tan ones of the family. But even with that, like, how they looked at, you know, like middle group or middle class, like, versus low class, it's like drastically different, especially if color was involved. Like, so if you came up and you got you a light skin, like, you winning in the game. And it's just like, it's the same thing I experienced in high school, like how people would gun for me because I was light skinned, and oh, if you light skinned, like, that's the automatic pass to being fine. It's not. You can still be ugly and light skinned. I'm gonna let you know now. I don't know who hasn't hurt your feelings, but I'm gonna do it for you. Okay.
Yeah, let them fucking know.
Yeah, like, just as how you can be fine, you light skinned, you can be fine with your chocolate self. But it's the same thing. If you
say that,
right? If you ugly,
as I'm zooming into my face, yes.
Anyway,
Dark skinned boys
Hyping
are
Chris
something
up.
else.
But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Look, can we? But like, while we're talking on this topic of colorism, can we, as a whole Hispanic Latin community, come together and fight this? Like,
Right.
I shared it on my story, if you guys follow me, and I sent it in the group chat, and I know you've seen it. There's this Mexican. She's beautiful woman.
she's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. She's dark skinned, but she's Mexican. And so she's singing. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what type of music it is, but I know it's considered Mexican music. I don't want to say
Uplifting.
It was so
it's
was
mariachi or
beautiful.
something. I don't know. Point is, she was singing it, she was killing it, and there's so many comments on there like, oh, she's invited to the carne asada, and they're just like they're just talking about her so bad, and just like kind of like they're like, oh, well, she's culture appropriating. How come it's fair for her to do it, et cetera, et cetera. Back to my original statement. There are black Hispanics everywhere. There are black Latins.
Man, that's wild.
Everywhere, and you guys just cannot accept it. And I need you guys.
People in the
to
comments are
accept
talking about
it.
we
Like,
can't have shit. I'm like, yo,
it's literally hers. What are you talking about?
So this past weekend, I had to explain why, like, when white people wear like the box braids, when they wear like those hairstyles, I'd explain.
Having to educate them.
Yeah, I had to explain that, you know, it's the fact that for our side, we weren't able to like have this hair, have natural hair, because it's a distraction, because it's just too much. It's not proper. But to see that now it's trendy, it's appropriate. And then the biggest kicker, me personally, is waking up 7 a.m. in the morning, seeing Michael Davis and the rest of them on Good Morning America saying, hey, y'all, there's a new dance called the twerk. Yeah. There is a new hairstyle called box braids. Seeing that these styles that we've done for years be discovered now, that's where I get salty.
Black queer people were twerking in Vogue scenes in the early 80s. Like, get out of here.
The thing is like, as Hispanics and Latin people, is that we get a lot of our culture and a lot of our, like, us, whatever we consider to be ours, comes from Black culture. Bachata, merengue, salsa, all that shit, reggaeton, perreo, all of that. Where does it come from? Black people. And just food, all types of food, like everything. Look,
spices,
bitch.
All of it.
Black people. Why is it so hard for Hispanics to understand that it's okay to be Black? And like another thing is, like, I mentioned this earlier. I don't know why Hispanics are so, like, how I mentioned earlier about how this girl, there were comments like, oh, you said it, you can't have anything for ourselves, right? So, as most of you know, I have a salon. I have a coworker of mine, she's Puerto Rican, she's Black. And my mom is not, she's whiter, and but she's Hispanic. And so sometimes she'll have her Hispanic customers, and when they hear my coworker speaking in Spanish, she's like, oh, how did she learn Spanish? Oh, she speaks it so well. Well, bitch, she's fucking Puerto Rican. Like,
Y'all, one time when I was working in like the fast food industry, I had a coworker, and she was just like, wow, how did you learn how to speak Spanish so well on missionary trips?
Oh.
I was like,
shit.
Bitch, it's my first language. My mama taught me. Like, what? And that's like the stuff that, like, you think that it's not being offensive or anything, but like, you're not thinking it through. If someone walked up to you and said like, well, why do you speak such great English? Like, you would be in your bag. Like, the fuck, I'm American. Like it is what it is. Now, if you're curious to know, well, you know, I'm a bit confused. Help me through this. Like, am I missing something? Then I'm going to be like, all right, you're trying to understand.
Yeah,
you're
trying
not
to
coming,
understand. Yeah.
Right. You're not coming from a place of like, wow, oh my God, like, you know how to speak something else? Like, congratulations, you're so smart. Like, that's condescending. Like, please don't.
How do y'all feel about people assuming that y'all are Mexican? Like, I'm sure it happens to you, Velvet, more so.
Well, go ahead.
look. Okay. I was born in Boston. In Boston, there's so many cultures up there. I actually did not meet a Mexican person until I came down here to Georgia. There's Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, other people from El Salvador, Honduras, like everything up there. When I came down here, there's a lot of Mexican. I grew up with Mexican people. I love the Mexican culture. However, I am not Mexican. My mother is from...
Wait, what?
Shocker, right? Every time I tell them I'm not Mexican.
Huh?
Shocker. Exactly.
But you're speak Mexican.
Oh, my God. Yes. First of all, I don't. Actually, and how we spoke earlier about how you said the fact that there was several different ways to say certain things. I don't speak Mexican because there's a lot of words that I don't know. Like, if they tell me something, I'm not going to know what it is half the time. But like I said, because I've been raised around them, I kind of know. However, I'm not Mexican, you guys. There's more countries out there than just Mexico. Yes, Mexico is a very big country, but God damn it. There's Paraguay, Uruguay, there's Chile, there's Costa Rica, there's Argentina, there's Brazil, there's Spain.
There's a lot more Colombian people out here than y'all realize, too.
Right.
Like,
And the biggest thing when we all met was like trying to figure out like you're Hispanic if you speak Spanish, but then like when you look at Brazil, or like
That's
what was the
Latina 'cause
country?
they-
that's another.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother
Portuguese.
argument.
You know what's
I'm gonna be
funny?
honest. I don't sometimes it gets confusing for me too, as far as like Hispanic.
Okay,
But we
because
don't
I
care. We're
am
like-
You know what's
lost.
I thought
funny?
Latina's like Latin American, and then Hispanic would be like a general, like everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they speak Spanish, so Brazilians wouldn't be considered Hispanic. They'd be considered Latin
Because they speak Portuguese.
because they're in Latin America. So they're not considered Hispanic because they don't speak Spanish. They speak Portuguese. So
I think
Still
what's funny is
confused.
the only one with anyone in their family who was from Mexico is the whitest one in like the group, me. Like the last
But-
person who they would have asked about that is the
But-
only
Oh,
one
so
with any
your
family.
experience with it is like fresh. You have no, like you've never seen.
Well,
that
anytime I
exchange?
brought it up, they're like, "Oh, from Mexico," and I'm like, "Well, yeah," but like the thing is my family, yeah, but the thing is like I'm like the whitest person, so they're not gonna ever ask me that. So it's
Okay.
kind of funny that like the people they would ask don't have any family in Mexico, and the one they wouldn't ask does. So basically, like you can't make an assumption at all.
just ask, like instead of saying, "Are you Mexican?" just say, "Oh,
What are you?
What are you?" Or like,
Well,
"Where are your
yeah, I'm gonna hit
parents
you.
from?" Or
I would even take, why do you look the way that you look? Like, because I would genuinely be like, all right, I do look a little.
Can you just be straight up and be like, what's your ethnicity? Because like
Right.
asking
Yes.
somebody where they're from, like you're probably going to be like, I'm from Boston.
Right.
And then they're going to be like, no, I mean like, where are you from?
No, that's not. They're still not asking the right question. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not from there. My parents are from
Yeah.
there. Like,
Yo,
you're still not asking the right
exactly.
question.
A lot
So-
of people, though, their parents were born here too. So
Yeah.
No,
Mine
so, all right.
were-
So like for me, I'm first generation. So like my parents, they come from these countries.
Yeah.
So like when people are like, "Are you American? Are you Haitian?" I'm like, "Well, my parents are from Haiti.
yeah.
I'm from America." Because that's its own separate thing.
Yeah.
Because like you said, there are some people where their parents may have been born here, but at that point, I feel like they're
but they're
like,
still, Mexican or Puerto Rican or
yeah,
whatever.
it's weird when you have like when you're at that generational cross.
Yeah. So like, actually, to be an asshole, when people ask me where I'm from, I always say Boston because I know what they mean.
Yep.
But
You
they're
know
not
what they
ask-
mean.
They're not
Yeah.
asking
Yeah.
it right. So I will say, "Oh, where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from Boston." Like, no. Where are your parents from? Like, oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what you really wanted to know. You could have just asked that to begin with, and then I explained to them, my dad is from Honduras, my mom is from El Salvador. I'm first generation American.
And that still confuses people. They're like,
really
they're like,
does.
they're like,
They're like,
so like,
Are you American or not? Are you still illegal? Like,
Yes.
so,
I'm
oh,
first generation. That means
So I was gonna say, so let's talk about that. Like the whole like, are you illegal? Like,
even with that, like people go through like these stereotypes with me. They start with, if they hear me on the phone, they're like, "Oh, she's Caucasian." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm fancy," because I don't know what the fuck Caucasian sounds like. But all right, cool. And then they meet me and they're like, "Oh, she's black." And then I'm like, I say something in Spanish because I'm bound to say it. Like that's a part of my culture. I'm not gonna filter myself because you don't understand. Like. So, but like if I feel it, I'm gonna say it. And then now you get this whole like, oh, this bitch is illegal. Like, no, the fuck I'm not. Like, I'm the same person I was in every 3 of those thought processes you just had. Like, that sounds so ignorant. If you don't hear yourself and like recognize, like, damn, that was a little bit of racist of me. Like, let me
yeah.
stop myself. Like, come on. Like, it's just really annoying. Go ahead.
So, I've mentioned this before, and I'm gonna mention it again because y'all really piss me off with this shit. Look, when Trump was running for president, and a lot of people brought it up, and they were like, they would ask my mom, or they would talk about to my mom about like, oh, who are you voting for, et cetera, talking about politics, whatever. And they'll talk about illegal immigrants. Oh, but you did it the right way, so it's okay. Don't do that shit. First of all, you don't know what exactly my mother had to go through or what she did or whatever the process was for her to become a citizen. Thankfully, she is. However, I know so many people who are trying. They are trying and they still have not. Like, there's people that I know who, since I've been born, I'm 26 now, and they still don't have papers. And it's not like something like, oh, they didn't try. No, they're trying, and they're still going through that. And it's not just as easy as, getting your driver's license. Getting your driver's license is easy. Getting papers is not that easy. And it's just really frustrating for people to automatically assume that, A, you're illegal. B, if you are illegal, you haven't tried to get papers. And C, if you are illegal and you haven't tried to get papers, you're leeching off the American, taxes and shit like that.
Let's talk about that for a sec. Let's talk about that real quick.
Real quick though, the only person whose family did come here illegally is yet again the whitest person in the room. So with that, let's stop assuming that if you're brown, you're here illegally, because my family actually was here illegally, so fuck you. And also, she didn't even try because people were getting snatched up in her neighborhood, like left and right. You couldn't stick around, because if you stuck around, you joined the group of people who were not around anymore. So she packed the fuck up and left like any rational person would do. And why would you question that?
And it's crazy how they try to say, like, Mexicans ship just their rapists and they're bad people. But, like, no, these people are literally, some of them are fleeing for their lives. Like, they're taking whatever they have. They don't have savings like we have here. They don't have a 401k. They're fleeing for their life. And it's 2020. Like, you get to have the comforts of being in your home, flicking on a light, running water, and you're over here. You don't understand. You don't have even the capacity to justify someone's experience. You don't even know you don't have nothing to compare that to for you to even have a thought on it. Like, shut up.
And they're not reaching off of food stamps or anything like that, because they don't have a social security number, so she can never get any of that stuff.
There's no fucking way.
I was gonna say, like, going back to what you were saying about, like, how in these other countries, like, we walk into a room, we plug shit up, turn on lights, and we know it's turning on. Guaranteed. In these other countries, which are really, really close to us, that's like a whole ordeal of, like, having a generator, having gas for the generator, for having the generator in itself.
Right.
Look, this is really like, this is such a topic that's really like, it's personal. Like, I've been to El Salvador, I've been to Honduras. Thankfully, I'm here and I can, I have these luxuries. Being in those countries, we don't get water every day. So how the water works is that the city, town, whatever the fuck you're in, depending on how they each run it, but they turn it on, like, say, every other day or something like that, right? So you fill up these, like, giant, like, we call them pilas. I don't know what you would call them here. But they're, like, usually attached to your sink or attached to something. They're pretty big. They hold hundreds of gallons, right? You fill them up when the water's on, and then that has to last you till the next time the water turns on. So also, toilets. Toilets was scary.
I haven't been to DR since, like, I was 13. I definitely want to go back. But, like, even myself, like, I know as an American, like, I can't go stay with my cousins. Like, I would be sick, at least for the first few days.
So I was gonna ask, so you're in the same position that I am when I think about going back to Haiti. Mm-hmm. So as an adult with your own money, are you going to go, like, visit your cousins that, like, live in these environments, and then, like, you see what they're going through, like, it's going to affect your psyche? Or are you spending money to go to resorts?
But I'm one of those people, honestly, I will say, I don't travel often, because if I feel like I don't have the money to fund the trip the way that I want to, and if I go visit my family, I'm going to want to give them things because I know the situation that they're in. Although I do have some very ungrateful family members, just like everybody. Yeah. Like, if you have family in another country, bruh, they're trying to get you for everything you got. Gucci belts and all. Like, I don't even got a Gucci belt, but you asking me for a Gucci belt? Like, no, it's not happening. So it's something that, like, you want to help them because you know how bad the situation is. But a lot of it, too, like, the family that's, like, busting their ass to try to get it and they're still not making ends meet, you help those. But then the ones that are just, like, sitting on their ass. They're even better than you. Like, nothing hurts on them, and they're just sitting on their ass. Like, so you have those, like, conflicts. Like, do you help your family and bring them out? But, like, that you don't really have that advantage yourself here. Like, you're living check to check type thing. Like, so it's hard for me personally to travel. Like, I haven't been out the country, and I don't know how long because in my head, like, in my anxiety, all this depression, like, I really, truly feel like I can't do it. Like, even though I have the money, I have the things that, like, my cousins don't have, but, like, I still feel like I can't afford it. If they can't have it, why am I going to do it? Like, if I'm going to visit my country. But if I'm going somewhere else, still going to plan the trip better. But
all right, so can I quick, like, story to why I asked that? Okay. So about 2 years ago. Me and my family, we go on a cruise. It's like a Caribbean cruise. You know, we're visiting a bunch of different Caribbean countries. It's great. But then I'm looking at the itinerary. Oh, snap, we're going to Haiti. So at that point, I'm thinking, oh, shit, are we going to see, like, these family members who's been calling our house for, like, the last, like, 10 years?
Trying to add you on Facebook.
Yeah. What?
Yes. Like, what?
What? Yes, I have so many, and, like, it's like spin-offs of my name that are close, and people are still hitting me up. So I was like, all right, so I guess we might hit the island up. We might go visit them. I'm mentally preparing myself for that. We get to Haiti. And
I know exactly where you probably went to, or
Yeah.
where you were bought to.
we were brought to an island that was essentially bought off by, I think it was Royal Caribbean, and they own an island of Haiti, and it's basically Target brand Haiti.
Yep. Like they don't even refer to them as Haitians, like on that island.
Yeah.
Whatever the island's little jinky ass name is, like that's what they refer to the people as, like, oh, Georgians, like whatever that little island is called ends at the end. Like, why?
So me getting there, I'm like, yo, like, I'm in Haiti, but I'm not, like I said, this is like, I'm in Target right now.
You
Like,
know
this
what?
looks really
And
nice.
I don't ask why I know this, y'all. We watch way too much documentaries at my house while we're high. So, but like people in Haiti can't even swim at that resort. Like if there's a catastrophe that happens and it hits Haiti, the resort doesn't get any of the federal funding, if they get any, to even help them, because like they're getting
Owned by like a corporation.
It's not even Haiti for real.
So, so my dad, he was like, all right, he was planning to go visit, you know, his cousins, his family. He had to, at that point, get off the boat really early in the morning so that he could make it across a bridge so that he could show his passport, pay money to get into the country.
Yeah, like you get janked at your own borders.
I have an
I was like,
you
yo,
American.
I was like, yo, Dad, relax. I'm just trying to chill at the beach. I ain't trying to wake up this early.
Adventure.
I have an interesting question, Morgan. As a white person, being close friends with Velvet, like, have you gotten any of the stereotypical questions because people think it's more appropriate to ask you instead of directly going to her?
A couple times when we first like started working together and stuff, they would ask me about my Mexican friend, and I'd be like, "Who are you talking about?"
Who is that?
And they're like, "What's her name? Velvet," and I'm like, "She's not fucking Mexican, first of all."
Yeah, like I'm interested to just kind of hear how like that experience goes. Like, is it just like the traditional like, "Hey, you're white, I'm white. Can we be racist?"
Yeah, it goes back to the same thing like with
gross.
black
That
people that we
happens?
talked
What the
about
fuck?
a few episodes back. Yeah, because you're white. They're white. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really gotten a lot of questions about her, except people asking if she likes girls. But I would the only
Fair enough.
usually the racial questions I get are about black men, and it's annoying. It's so annoying. It's so
I've gotten a
annoying.
couple of those
y'all
questions
stop
about
being
you.
Weird.
Please.
Yeah, about like, you know, like, does she know Spanish, and like how, like, where you're from, what are you, and it's kind of like, you know, on
Ask her.
on my perspective, I'm like, you know, partially I have like Latina in my family. Like, fuck you, first of all. Second of all, go ask Morgan and go ask Velvet. Ask them too. Leave me alone. Fuck off. I'm pissed.
But it's true. You're supposed to be building that relationship. Like, ask the person.
I learn a lot of things though. Like I have several friends. Velva's not my only Hispanic friend, and I notice differences in like gatherings and parties and stuff. Like y'all be spoiling folks. Like the women, like the moms and the aunts.
Oh, yeah.
I went to a friend of mine, like her cousin's high school graduation, and it was constantly like one of her aunts kept bringing me food. Like I would eat something and my plate would be empty. She'd be like,
Look.
"You want more food? Are you hungry?" Her mom was passing around
Listen.
shots of Patron. Like
If someone in a Hispanic family offers you something, you take that
You
shit
take
whether
it,
you're
yeah.
hungry or not.
I did, and I sure
Because
did.
Yep.
if you don't,
If you
they're
don't,
gonna
they gonna keep offering.
They're gonna keep asking. Are you hungry? Are you sure? Did you eat? Yes, I just ate. No, do you want to eat again? Are you hungry now? It's gonna keep happening.
I
until you
ate
eat.
5 tortas in one sitting. 5, yo. I could not. They were so good, but like she kept bringing them, and I was like, "Thank you so much," but I just had like 4. Like I'm good. She's like,
No,
"Here you go."
So your mistake is that you need to look at your friend Like, yo, help me.
That's the thing too. That's the thing.
What do I do?
Your friend just letting you dare to die. Like, yeah, relax.
It was so good though, and just like, oh, everybody's so nice, and like everyone approaches you and talks to you, and just like, it's very warm and friendly. Like when you go to like a white person party, like the food is over there in the kitchen. You get it yourself. Go figure it out.
No, listen. Wait, can I? So
Go.
I guess we're gonna exchange our white party experience.
Please do.
Listen,
I'm sure they're accurate.
I went to a party and they're like, yo, they're hot dogs. And I was like, all right. So I'm looking for like the grill, looking for like the thing that you put the hot dogs in. No, y'all, you put the hot dogs in the buns and then put the buns back in the bag.
Oh, I don't know why they do that. We do it with hamburgers sometimes too.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do that. They'll put the stuff on the buns and put them back in the thing, and they get all like soggy.
What?
I was like, I get it, but it doesn't like.
Usually, my family.
Is it warm? I feel like
my family puts everything on plates, so the patties will be on like a tray, and then the cheese is on a plate. You know what I mean? Everything's on a plate,
Like
and you just
normal
grab
people
everything,
shit?
go down a line.
Like-
Yeah.
Yeah, no, on
But
my white
sometimes,
family,
yes.
make
Yes.
yourself at home translates to go fuck yourself. Like,
Oh yeah, you get
So-
everything yourself. Drinks are in the fridge. There's ice.
Yes.
Like you self-serve everything. They'll
So-
at least show you where everything is, but you get it yourself.
lucky you, not me.
No, it's funny because we actually talked about this not too long ago. So both our sisters are pregnant, and my sister just had her baby shower a few weeks ago. Her baby shower is coming up, and we were just talking about baby showers in general. And I was like,
Day
oh
and
yeah,
night,
I'm gonna be
literally.
there from such and such time till like 3-4 in the morning. Who knows? She was like, oh no, ours is only from like 2 to 5 or some shit like that. I was like,
2 to 4. It's 2 hours.
and no, but the funny thing is like, oh, I've been to a white baby shower before. That was weird. So I'm
y'all-
sorry, but that
y'all
was
are
weird.
Like, it's like set events where it's like, all right, from like 2 to like 5. And like that's it. Like you can't be late
Yes.
because that's it.
So, and
But,
that's
like,
the thing is,
but
I
for-
showed up late.
But for y'all and for us too,
So organized.
when there's like an event like that, you have to empty
There's
out your
usually
schedule
a
for the
start
whole
time,
day.
but there's
Yes.
not an end
Your-
time.
your whole day
No.
is
It's
taken
just
up.
till whenever.
It's
Yeah.
until whenever the fuck you want to go home.
Exactly.
Exactly. And that's what I told her is like, okay, I showed up late because I was thinking my time. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna show up late. The food's gonna be done by then, and you know
Yep.
I could eat and then just go, right? No, the food was the food was already gone. Mind you, the food was like crackers and ham and cheese and shit. I'm like, what?
Hey,
For
them
my
finger- them
sister's
finger
baby
foods, though.
Yes, my sister's baby shower, they had Honduran spaghetti. They had arroz con habichuelas. They had ribs. They had pernil. They had pupusas. They had
Or remember Alicia's baby shower? They had like carne asada and
had
all that shit.
everything.
Guacamole. They cooked everything.
They had everything. They had
Oh.
full like course meals. They
Oh,
had
so
pasta
good.
salad. They had potato salad. They had right.
White folks be having them little mints, a cake, and maybe like some finger sandwiches if you're lucky. Maybe somebody brought a
basically
Chick-fil-A
eat
chicken
before you
nugget
go to
tray.
a white
Maybe.
party. Go with empty stomachs to Hispanic parties.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're
you're
gonna
right.
You know
be
what I've
fed up
also
several
noticed,
You
times.
might want to have a light lunch before you go to
Right.
a white
Being able
party.
to like see it, like on different ends of the spectrum.
cheap.
With my white family, it's like they're very polarized. We can only like spend so much time around each other because half of us are racist, the other half isn't. Half of us are homophobic, the other half isn't. And we're like, we hate being around each
In
other.
some cases, it's not half. It's like you and maybe one other cousin, and then the rest of the family
Yeah,
is like
totally.
Trump 2020,
So,
and you
but-
and your cousin are just like
Wow.
looking across the room like, God damn it.
Wow.
No, but
I
that's
knew
the
I should've
thing.
stayed at home.
That's the thing. You're starting like
Why do I keep coming home for holidays? Like, fuck.
Yeah, when you get
They're not
around
gonna
your family,
change.
it's like you spend those 2 hours, and then you and your like chill cousins like fuck yeah, let's go to Waffle House and get stoned in the parking lot.
I have
And,
more
like,
cool cousins on my
yeah.
dad's side. Like, we will
Yeah,
smoke
so
pot
like,
or whatever.
we still got our hanging like shit. Like it's still pretty lit, but we just got to like break away from the rest of the family. So it's
Yeah.
not really a gathering. Like I went to one family reunion, and like it was in the middle of the fucking nowhere, and I was like, y'all, no, I'm not doing that. My gay ass is not finna come out here. I've been without service for the last 30 minutes, and y'all want me to be here for like 4 hours eating all this shitty ass fucking. Y'all put raisins in your pasta salad?
No,
Yo.
never in my life have I seen that shit. No.
So
That's a hard one.
I just at one point I just want to be in a room when like someone's making potato salad and they're like, all right, somebody get the raisins. I just want to be there. So I'm like,
knock that shit out their hand.
Exactly.
Knock it out. Like,
Yeah, no.
Potato salad nasty anyway. Like
Yeah,
I don't even get why people.
No,
why do y'all act
forget
like
you
it's
put
so
it on your
good?
plate and then you heat everything else up and then like that shit's gone to waste. Like,
I'm gonna leave now.
Can y'all quit pretending that potato salad is good? Because it's not.
Potato salad's fucking
It's-
good.
yeah.
You're just not eating it right.
Yep.
Some of y'all put too
unless
much
it's
mustard
super
in that shit.
cold. Oh yeah, that's gross.
yeah, that's their fucking problem. That's why you hate it.
Yeah.
So is that a white thing? The mustardy potato salad? Because that's
Oh,
all
yeah,
I've had is
that's
like mustard.
They're
It's
very
mustard.
white.
It's yellow.
Yeah,
Potato
that's
salad.
We don't do
what the
that.
fuck are you
We
doing?
don't do that.
No, the
It's
potato
not me. I'm not making
The
it.
potato salad at my sister's baby shower was white and it was so good.
Loaded
No, the
baked
shit I be
potato
eating
salad.
is yellow and it's like it tastes like mustard.
Hell
Y'all are just throwing everything into the like pasta salad at that point.
Those are the spices that they
That's the
originally
spices.
found.
Yeah.
Anything that they
Those
found
are y'all
in the pantry.
spices.
Now, how you finna find all the spices and then not use any of them?
Thank you.
Except salt.
I swear, I feel like they put them all on the table and they look at them and they still only pick like one thing, and everything else is just the trash that they find.
Chill
Like,
out with that paprika.
Or
It's
they'll
gonna
be like,
spicy.
look, shut the fuck up, Shane. Or they'll like a dash of. I stop until like
A
my
dash?
grandma
Your
says,
ancestors,
like
yeah.
my inside grandma says stop. I'll be like,
Ancestors.
Inside grandma. Let me also say food is so good. The food at Hispanic gatherings is so good. from the tortas to the carne asada, like I know we don't like Goya or whatever because Trump,
Yeah.
whatever, but
Goya,
that
Goya,
season,
Goya.
oh y'all, the chicken,
I told
the
my
chicken
mom
seasoning.
that, and like she didn't even flinch. She was like, "Okay, I'm still gonna use Goya." Like
my mom said the same thing.
we're way too far in this game
Yeah.
to be trying to find a new supplier. Like,
Oh man, it's top notch,
I know,
y'all.
so what I think it was, I think
Because we finna
that
shoot
was-
ourselves in the foot.
I thought that was white
Goddamn.
America like telling people, hey, like this is what the Hispanic community uses. So like for us, we're like, yeah, we've already used it, and then they're like, oh wait, this is what we need to use. They're canceling it. Let us use it.
oh no,
No,
So
y'all
they're gonna
can't. No,
support
you
them?
still can't have it.
Yeah, you still
No.
can have it. You still wouldn't use it right. Like
no,
you would
'cause
put a
no, 'cause think
dash
about
of
it.
adobo.
Because think about it. Like all those like Trump
Just
people,
a
like
pinch.
a dash of adobo.
anything that they see that's like against the norm, like they're all for.
Speaking of like, white, people using Spanish spices. So what's funny? In other countries, like I said, from where I'm from, we have Wendy's, Burger King, all that, but it's different. It's not like Wendy's and Burger King and McDonald's over here. It tastes different.
Is it better?
Yes, and also I know in Mexico, I know this because a friend of mine went to a Mexican McDonald's, I want to say. You know how, like, if you ever go to a taqueria or anything, they give you, like, the little, plastic containers that have the salsas, right? At his McDonald's, they had, where they usually put the ketchup and the straws and stuff? They had their little salsas. Yes.
Do they have chips instead of like
No.
fries or something?
I don't
What's the
think so.
salsa for?
I don't know. Probably for the burger. I'm sure.
Okay.
Can we also talk?
Go ahead.
You know what? Real quick. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
What's on your
Real quick.
mind?
Because I just thought about this. So, over there, specifically in El Salvador, because I've seen it. Well, actually in Honduras too. When I was at both places. Like I said, we have those chains. They're the same prices that they are over here.
So that's
Yes.
expensive.
So that's like if we were to go to like I don't know what's a fancy restaurant over here. I don't know. Let's go with Longhorn, right? If we were. That's what I'm saying, Longhorn. If we were to go to the Longhorn over here, right? Just, okay, it's a casual, whatever. Let's go spend some extra money. Let's go to Longhorn. That's what McDonald's, Wendy's, and stuff is over there to them. It's the same price. Okay. In El Salvador, they use the dollar. In Honduras, they use the lempira. So it's a little bit different as far as money-wise, but the, like, I guess, what's the word?
Like the conversion.
Yeah, it's still considered like how much it is over here. So in El Salvador, it's the same price. You know how much on average people make a month over there? Take a wild guess.
Wow.
Oh no,
500,
I don't wanna be
600.
heartbroken. I'm good.
Is that too high?
Yes.
Can I pass on the question?
$25.
A what? A what?
Average $25.
A what? A day?
No, a month.
Shut the
And here
fuck
in the
up.
pre-show,
Oh my
Dr.
God.
Dre's wife.
Wanted $2 million a month.
Oh, that is so sad.
Yes.
Like people.
Dang,
really
and I'd be
don't
sad
know.
about my like like barely over 1,000 a month.
Right, you'd be like, barely a comma. What? Take this back. Give me again. Like
$25. Like that's what. Like I used to go over there a lot. I stopped going because it got really, really dangerous in both countries. And now I won't go back because one, I have tattoos, and I have 13s on me, and they don't mean what they over there think it means. But they can. I can still get in like really like I could get murdered out there. So I won't go back. I wish I could, but at the same time, I'm not gonna like like dull my personality for that.
or risk your fucking life.
That too. My grandma's always like, you could just wear long sleeves. I'm like, in El Salvador, no, it's like 100. Yeah. No. But I just hate seeing those like situations. Like I remember my grandma, she was complaining that her water bill was $7 because it was too much.
Jeez.
Yeah. Like it's, I don't know. We take a lot of things for granted here. Me included. I'll say that. I do take a lot of shit for granted because I do live here and I do have that luxury of having running toilet water, of having electricity, of being able to afford McDonald's every day if I wanted. But,
$25.
Yes.
Like, y'all, we can't even make $25 last until like Tuesday. Like people living a whole month.
$25 would barely last me like 2 days.
Right.
Yes.
I can spend $25, y'all, on appetizers. Like
Y'all, I went here for lunch.
Oh my God. Their food's amazing.
Slutty Vegan, shout out to Slutty Vegan.
It's like $15 for a burger there.
My whole experience
But you
buying
will be
this,
so full.
buying the meal, they have spiked drinks.
Mm-hmm.
I took myself out on a date after the amount of money I've spent over there. Self-care, everybody. Treat yourself. I spent about $54.
And he just blew someone's
For
monthly
lunch.
salary
Double.
twice.
Yes.
Bala. Like,
Yo,
explain yourself.
But that super slut sandwich? Mwah.
I like the menage a trois. Like, that's my favorite.
I still haven't
That's my
been.
go-to.
Sad face.
Y'all need to go.
Let's blow some monthly expenses and go to.
I ain't spending $50 now.
Yeah,
I ain't
no.
doing all that. I'll
Yeah.
spend 20 or under.
Yeah,
Yo.
that's
They're
what
little
you're
sweet
spending.
potato pie thing.
There's this little restaurant in Las Vegas that whenever I lived in Vegas, I would go to a lot called The Hex. And they've got like this plate of, I don't really know what it's called because I didn't pay attention. But like the noodles aren't like noodles. They're just like these little balls of like, I don't know, but it's like some type
barley?
of pasta. I don't remember what it's called.
I was in culinary school, so that's
But it was like really good though. It was about $80 for a plate like this. But hold on, no, the whole plate wasn't covered. The glass that was just like empty, like the bowl was about this big, like that, and it was like that deep, and that was the only part that had food in it. But it was like $80. A glass of champagne was about like $30. I ended up usually getting like the Bloody Marys. They were like $35. That's fucking ridiculous to like think about the fact that I went out and spent about $200 on a dinner with me and my mom, and that didn't include the like drinks and the tip, because if you don't tip, they will put you on a list and you're not allowed to come back. If you go to a chef's table, you make a reservation, and like we had gone to the chef's table a couple of times while we were out there, and that was about like roughly $3,000 at one sitting that was spent. So like to think that one person makes $25.
Take my $50 lunch.
Somebody
Appreciate it,
makes
Chris.
$25 a fucking month, and I spent their month's salary how many times on a dinner?
Yes.
I like am disgusted with the amount of privilege I have.
Like how she was mentioning earlier about how a lot of families send stuff over there because we know what they go through. I know so many immigrants who they literally work 7 days a week. I know plenty of people who come to the salon. It's hard for them to get a haircut because they're always working, and they send their $200 a month or to whatever amount of money a month because they know that their family is only making a certain amount of money. So they come, like when people talk about they come here, like she was saying, they run away from like to save their lives. That's why, because people they're making nothing. And on top of that, like I said, El Salvador is using the dollar. The dollar is how we use it over here. And, granted, like I said, my grandma's water bill was $7. However, when she's working for it, like, she's not making anything. That's why we, or whoever comes over here from over there, are busting their ass to send money over there or send whatever it is that they need. And a lot of people don't understand that, and that's why they get frustrated with the whole food stamps. And then it's just a never-ending circle. It's annoying. I'm frustrated.
I was gonna say yikes. Like that's that's a lot. But this is why I love that we do this podcast, because we're able to talk about these things and just expose it to a lot of people. Like, hey, you watching right now, or you listening right now. When was the last time you thought about you complaining about spending $15 to $20 for lunch when that's just lunch? There's another person. There's someone on another side of the planet that's how much they make in a month. Perception, like your reality, your truths, they're different, but don't downplay other people's truths, like their realities.
Like they say, like you don't know how heavy that cross is that person carries, that burden, like, because you don't walk their lives. Like someone would hear like, oh, $7 for a bill, like that sounds amazing, but like, did you know like it was $25 for the month? Like if I got $25, it better be for the hour and then some. Okay, like
$25 and then $7.
That's why it's $7.
That's like
that's why she was complaining about a $7 bill.
That's not
like,
even one. That's not entirely. That's more than 1/5 of their monthly income is dedicated to them being able to drink water that doesn't even work for half of the time.
right.
And I'm over here like, oh my God! Like now I feel like I'm
Deer
gotta
Park,
do
how
something.
dare they? Like
I've gotta do something now.
out,
Like
like-
I am fucking stressed. Like my blood pressure just went up.
So that's our conversation for this week. Definite shout out, Roxie. Yo,
Thanks for having me.
Thank
I
you.
loved it.
We loved you.
Yes.
and tell the people, what you got going on, what they could check you out on, what's going on.
Follow me on Instagram again, Roxie full of Moxie. I'm not gonna spell it again. You can go back like normal people do. Don't complain. Be grateful. You just heard what we all heard. All right, like
yeah, you got a phone, bitch.
you can go back. Like imagine that. Anyways, Instagram Roxie full of Moxie. My business page is Personify.Creations. Sorry, y'all.
You're doing great.
Yes, that part. And then the Real Collective on Instagram is actually the Real Collective 5. Follow us. We're really dope. We're 5 women, and we come from all walks of life, and just kind of trying to help our community. So I know in probably the next few months we're going to be planning like our first give back to the city and stuff like that. So just keep an eye out for those. In the meantime, check out our episodes that we have, and just keep looking like out for stuff, because like I know I'm on like a war path I'm trying to change my life. So I'm all about supporting other people. So like feel free to reach out to me. I do respond. I talk to people. I will follow you, whatever you got hustling. I love to see our people hustle. So I will support anything. And if you're cool people, like I'm cool. Like I'm weird, but you're going to have a good laugh. Like, so follow me. Come on. Like, it's okay. I will support you. You will support me. And it's a community thing, and it's all about love and growing. So don't come to my page with that hate. I will block you. I have no time to even entertain the shenanigans. So don't. But other than that, follow our pages, and then you can get to know the other girls that I also love. We're a hoot. So yeah.
All right. So
hootin' is a gateway drug to hollering.
Oh God,
Well.
I just thought of that.
what?
Get your dating
All right, y'all.
Next on the whitest things that come out of my mouth.
Jesus.
Next time on, how white can Morgan be? You never heard that? Hootin' and hollering?
I've never heard that before.
No? Hootin' and
I've
hollering?
heard.
Never heard- oh,
I've heard
okay.
hooting and hollering. What did you say,
Hootin' is a gateway drug to hollering.
y'all?
I don't know. I'm
like-
corny like that. I kind of like that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Kind of like the you yeed when you should have hollowed partner. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, y'all.
Thanks
Listen.
for letting us be white.
Yo, all right. So, just to leave y'all with something. And of course, like if you're watching the YouTube videos, you already see where these quotes come from. But my fault, I forget that a lot of y'all listen to the audio version, and you're not seeing the credits. My bad. Shout out to Afrohantas on Twitter, to Mama Z. This is where we're getting. This is where I've been getting some of these quotes from, and they hit. They slap different. So I just want to make sure my audio listeners knew who to go to.
Stepdad.
Wow!
Yes, it wasn't me. Yes.
How I can Morgan?
Yes.
Are you going for a record?
I was gonna say like my ex-boyfriend, but damn, bitch.
Are you going for a record? You're already here.
No, it's
You
like,
win.
It wasn't me this week. It was her this week. Yeah, fuck you, Morgan. Ha, I'm not a part of it.
Haha, white people. All right, anyway.
Y'all, listen. Life is uncontrollable. Bitch, stop letting that uncontrollable shit defeat you.
Boom.
Bitch, start taking control of things you can control. Your reactions, your approach, your healing, your bounce back. You are strong.
Bitch.
Thank you.
Bitch.
Like I feel like someone should have been backsliding.
I love
that
you.
whole time.
I love you, bitch.
I ain't never
I ain't never
make
gonna
me do
stop
this?
loving you, bitch.
Bitch. But seriously, y'all, don't let the stuff that you can't control affect you.
Yes.
And that song, period, no cap.
Y'all, we appreciate you listening to this long ass episode of That's Unfortunate. Episode 13 with Roxie.
Damn, boy, it's 1 minute 46 seconds.
We appreciate you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And all that jazz. Follow our pages if you haven't already. Follow Roxie. Everything's in the description. Like you said, we all growing. We all supporting. Positive energy. I love it. With
This
that,
whole setup is relatable.
we are signing out for another week. Peace out. Catch you next time.